Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the disaster in Nepal. We're also going to be talking about the latest in Iran, some Trump achievements that he's renaming lakes to American lakes. And I'm also going to be talking about maybe there might be a war happening between Russia and UK. So that might be happening soon as well. But before I talk about all of that, let's talk about this disaster in Nepal. Some landslide or mudslide basically destroyed many parts of Nepal and killed hundreds of people, and thousands of people are missing. So that's a disaster, and it's also occurred in the border between Nepal and Tibet, or Xizang. Many Chinese have been killed as well, by the looks of it. But that's not the biggest story. The biggest story is Indians online. Indians online are coming online, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of them. And they are all blaming China. So this happened during the virus as well. So when the virus happened, millions of Indians took to social media blaming China for it, and they're all calling it, Wuhan virus and things like that. And nobody in India is actually helping the anyone in the disaster. Mainly it's China that's helping Nepal, and obviously there's an international contingent as well. But India is not been sending anyone to help Nepal. India and Nepal actually don't get along very well. So India is watching from the sidelines, and what they're doing what they do best. They are basically blaming China. I mean, look at this Indian guy here. He says, Chinese are busy blaming Nepal's for the flood. Apparently it came from Nepal and crossed across Tibet. The gravity seems to be working differently. And another Indian guy says, China will be the death of everyone and everything downstream, literally and metaphorically. This is what the Indians have been saying, literally about China. So I know Xi Jinping is actually planning to go to India very soon. I think he should just cancel his trip, and I think China should cancel every single Indian visa to come to China, every single one. He should put a total block of Indians visiting China, and China should put a total block of Chinese companies investing into India. There should be no Chinese companies investing into India, full stop, nothing at all. I mean, this is the behavior the Indians have been doing. They did the same thing during COVID. They're doing it now. And do you remember when the world was talking about India becoming the next superpower? They became so arrogant. They became so arrogant, guys. They were looking down on China, they were thinking that India already made it as the sole superpower of the world, and everyone else is beneath them. And they were looking down on China at the time as well. Kick these guys out of BRICS, guys. And it's not just China. They are annoying everybody, guys. Everybody. Americans have had enough. I mean, look, there's a report out on Fox News. Normally, Fox News doesn't report anything like this. But they are reporting on Fox News that basically there's a massive fraud going on with H-1B visas. 90% of applications, H-1B applications that come to America are fraudulent. So when I say fraudulent, they are fraudulent degrees, fraudulent experience. So Indians are basically using fraud to come into the Western countries by the millions. In UK alone, you can look at I'm not making these numbers up, by the way. In the immigration stats, India is the highest. 250,000 Indians come to UK every single year. Legally. This is legal immigration. And they come in with fake degrees, fake experience, and they start taking up the jobs. And they've been doing that for more than 10 years. So if you count 250,000 times 10, that's 2.5 million in 10 years. Could be more. We're not counting the illegals. So this is just UK, 2.5 million coming to UK. I mean, you can imagine how many go to America and Canada, Australia, and other Western countries using fake degrees. And the Americans they've had enough of H-1B visas as well. You can see Americans are literally have had enough. And one of the Indian guys is saying H-1B Indians staying in America should leave the USA as soon as possible, so that America faces a massive economic downfall. We'll make them beg us to come back to their country for free. The American IT sector will fall into pieces without H-1B Indian workers there. Can you see the arrogance of Indians? The arrogance. They think that if Indians leave America, if they go back to India, for example, America will just collapse. All the IT sectors will collapse. That's what they think. I mean, look at India, guys. If all of these Indians were so good, then why is India so bad? Explain to me that. Why don't they fix their own country? Why don't they develop their own country? And don't forget, America was a superpower before the Indians were even allowed to go into America. America started this superpower status well in the 1900s. And by that time, India was still a colony of the United Kingdom. So can you see the arrogance, guys? I'm really trying to be polite here as possible. So my friend Angelo Giuliano, he believes that he made a couple of posts. Obviously, I haven't done this investigation myself, so I'm just going along with what he investigated. He investigated that Nepal has been under the control of NGOs, and Nepal is pretty much a puppet government of the United States. They are secretly building a military base in Nepal. And apparently, all the good infrastructure projects in Nepal were cancelled. These NGOs basically cancelled these infrastructure projects, and these infrastructure projects would have helped Nepal with these disasters, because Nepal is in a dangerous place. You know, next to the Himalayas, there's always dangers of landslides or mudslides. So it's very important to build infrastructure projects and dams and early warning systems and things like that. And all of this was cancelled by the NGOs apparently. So I'm not sure what truth there is to that. Obviously it needs more investigating. But if it is true, then that's really bad, guys. Really bad. So Trump has been up to his usual tricks. So he's started a trade war with Canada. And Canada is starting to fight back. You know, they have basically saying that they will kick out all American investments. They will kick out, all American products. And Canada's not playing around, guys. This is what Canada needs to do. And this is what the rest of the world needs to do, basically, to fight Trump. Trump is a bully. If all the world got together, if Europe, UK, rest of the world got together and started taking the same actions as Canada, really, tariffing Trump's ass here, tariff all of American products, ban all American products, ban all American, companies, they could really seriously damage United States and Trump, and he will be forced to back down because he cannot have a trade war with the rest of the world. This is what the rest of the world needs to do. They need to get together and do this. Otherwise, Trump is going to be a bully. He's going to carry on tariffing countries and sanctioning countries for no reason whatsoever. So yeah, great job, Canada. I think all countries need to do what they're doing. So remember The Guardian, guys. The Guardian has been, spreading fake propaganda for years. I thought it was an intelligent paper, but it's not. So one Guardian reporter has been coming out lately and he's been saying that he's been writing fake stories for The Guardian, fake stories about Iran. This story was about this woman getting stoned to death, which was untrue. And now he's coming out to say that he was basically forced to write that story. He was coerced. That story is not true. The woman does not exist. He was a fake woman. It's a fake story. How many other stories out of Iran is fake? 50,000 protesters killed? Definitely fake. I mean, there were people killed, yes, but 50,000 is well exaggerated. And the people that were killed, they were mainly the ones causing trouble. And these were guys, these were basically Israeli Mossad agents or American agents causing all the trouble. But yeah, never trust The Guardian, guys. So Scott Bessent, basically, a funny thing happened, basically. He tried to put sanctions on Iran. He called it D-Day. He said, we will put sanctions on Iran. These are going to be the biggest sanctions on earth. These are going to have secondary sanctions. They're going to hit China. They're going to hit Russia. Because Russia and China do the most business with Iran. But the funny thing is, these sanctions have not been taken place. He's just talking a good game. He's just threatening to put the sanctions on. So he came online, in front of the stage, in front of the whole world. And he said, we're going to do this D-Day sanction thing. We're going to hit China and Russia. And one of the reporters stood up and said, why don't you start the sanctions now then? Why are you threatening to put these sanctions on? Why don't you start the sanctions today? And Scott Bessent replied back with saying that I don't want to cause a global recession. I don't want to explode the world's economy. That's why we haven't put the sanctions on. So why talk about it if you're not going to put the sanctions on? China buys 80-90% of Iranian oil. So most of the sanctions would go to China and the rest will go to Russia. But they haven't got the guts to sanction China, let alone Russia. The last time they tried to sanction China, we know what happened. Trump had to do a TACO. He failed miserably. He's going to fail again if he tries anything like that to China. And with Russia, they had to send the CIA guy to fly to Russia to talk to Russian leader Putin. And apparently that CIA guy told Putin he needs to convince Iran to open the strait, but Putin said no. And also, one of the reasons people are saying that he went to Russia is something much more important, which is related um, to kind of a nuclear exchange between NATO, Russia, and probably United States. And a lot of people are saying that was the reason he went to Russia, because there's a lot of talks that things could escalate between Russia and UK. Russia said that UK has been helping Ukraine fire deep rockets into Russian territory, and UK is now going to be a target. So if UK is a target and NATO gets involved, we could have a nuclear exchange. Things can escalate very fast, and this is probably why the CIA director went to Russia, to probably try and calm things down. So obviously we don't know if this is true or not, but certainly it can be true. UK has been involved in deep attacks into Russian territory. How long will Russia take it? Not for long. So yeah, the CIA director went for that. He went to convince Putin to rain down on Iran. He said no. But there could have been another reason as well. Another reason the CIA director went to Russia, it could be for another reason as well. Trump could be planning an escalation with Iran. He could be planning some sort of nuclear strike. We don't know for sure, but we know that the White House is talking about it. So maybe the CIA director went to Russia to talk to Putin to basically say, if we strike Iran, would you retaliate? Maybe that's what the CIA director was in Russia for. Scary, guys. Very scary. We live in really, really scary times. And there was another piece of news today that Iran and Russia signed a massive 25 billion nuclear energy deal to build more nuclear reactors in Iran. Obviously, United States and Israel are not going to like it. They might try and bomb it. Who knows? So Trump is doing what he does best. Instead of fixing the economy, instead of ending the Iran war, instead of stopping all of these trade wars he's doing with the rest of the world, he's doing what he does best, renaming oceans and lakes to America. That's what he's been doing. He signed an executive order today to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America. And apparently he wants to rename the Atlantic and Pacific to American oceans. So he's sitting in his Oval Office doing what he does best. Forget about everything else. Forget about the economy. Forget about all of the wars he started. He's renaming oceans after America. What a great job. So finally, guys, I want to end with this cute little story. This girl, who looks very Chinese, by the way, is being interviewed by a reporter. And she's saying that she's Indian. She's obviously been brainwashed. And she said she lives in southern Tibet, and apparently she's Indian. She's proud to be Indian. She doesn't like being called Chinese. But I'll tell you what, if she goes to Mumbai or any other Indian city, they would literally, bully her. Kids will just bully her, first of all. And once she grows into an adult, God knows what the other Indian men would do. I mean, we know what they would do. It's the grape capital of the world. This poor girl, if she was raised in China, if she was brought up in China, she would have had the best education. She would have had amazing infrastructure. There would be something to be proud of for a child to say, yeah, this is my country. Look what this country has given me. It's given me a great education, given me great infrastructure to travel to and from my school, my college, gave me great opportunities to work, and is giving me safety. I can walk around in Chinese cities at night without without the thought of being raped. This poor girl was born in the wrong country. Southern Tibet doesn't even belong to India. I mean, look at the people. They look Chinese. This is why they need to give that land back to China. And the people that live in those parts, they need to protest. They need to stand up and protest to say that they want to be part of China, so they can have a better life. That's all from me, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.